Hi, thank you for watching my channel today. My name's Sarah and my channel is called Your Tree Shelf. So I have a problem with having a big TBR. My TBR, as I looked this morning, is 268 books. That is my physically unread books, my audio books and my Kindle books all put together. That is my number, which I think is a bit too high. I mean, I think that there are pros to having a big TBR in that if you have whatever mood you're in, whatever reading challenge you're doing, you're going to have something which will fulfill that. But on the downside, there's lots of books which you are excited to get to, which languish for a long time. So I find it really difficult to unhaul books that I haven't read in case well, sometimes I do. Sometimes it's easy, and other times I think, oh, I don't know, I think I do want to read that. And then the TBR kind of sticks at around the same number. So I decided to pull the 10 books with the lowest Goodreads reviews off my shelves and try them and see what I think. And if I don't like them, they're going. So I used Goodreads for this because you can't you can't organise by average rating on Storygraph, because Storygraph is my preferred app of choice by a mile. So I'm going to show you the 10 books. I'm going to read a little bit of the book and then I'll report back whether it's going to stay or go. This is the first book. This is The Godless Boys by Naomi Wood. This is not a book that I bought myself. This is a book that one of my work colleagues read and said he thought that I would like it and he passed it on to me. This is about where England is controlled by the church and anyone who's a non-believer gets exiled onto an island, and there's like a gang of boys on the island who are looking for anyone who has signs of faith and then punishing them if they do. And there's a new girl who comes to the island who's looking for her mum, and this splits the gang because one of the boys falls in love with her and another wants to seek violent revenge. So that's the premise. Let's have a little try and see what I think. So this was published in 2011 and the prologue is set in 1976. Okay, so I just read the first 10 or so pages of this. So the first scene is in 1976 and it's a woman who has been a getaway driver for two men who are throwing petrol bombs into a church, and she gets caught. They all get caught by the police as they're escaping, and then it cuts to 10 years later in 1986 on the island, and we're following a young guy who's dressed in quite an aggressive way. It makes it sound like he's a kind of militant type, like, you know, like military clothes, shaved head, like doesn't sound like a pleasant character. And he's kind of walking through the island. When I was reading it, I actually started like skipping ahead a little bit just to see what I thought further through the book. So I know that means I don't really want to read this book, and I want to be excited about everything that's on my shelves, and so I'm going to start with an unhaul for this one. So that's 1 out of 1 unhauled. The second book is also from the same person. He was getting rid of some books and he gave us at book club free reign to take what we wanted. And I took this one because it's about a doctor, which always intrigues me, but it's got a low rating. This is Quite Contrary by Suzannah Dunn, and I like the cover of this one. This is written, this was given, this says on the back, promotional book exclusive to Marie Claire, not for resale. So obviously came free with a magazine. It was written in 1991 and it's set in 1989. It's about a junior doctor called Elizabeth who gets a phone call from her father late on a Friday night telling her that her mother is dangerously ill. It's set over the weekend that follows when she's busy on the casualty ward, finding moments to reminisce about her childhood, its joys and its miseries, and past and present are woven together. So that sounds good to me, and it's a really small little book. It's actually like quite a, like the actual physical book is small. So I'm intrigued to see this one. I've been wanting to try this for ages, so let's try this and see if this one fares better than the last one. The first line is, semolina is palatable only when slurried with jam. I like that as a first line. Okay, this is really good. I really like it. We started in 1986, I think I said. 1989, when Elizabeth has just got home from working in A&E and she's realised there's no food. She's got herself a lasagna, she's just put it in the oven, and then the phone rings and it's her dad. So she knows something's wrong because her dad never rings her, and he says, your mum's in hospital with stomach pains, what do you think's wrong with her? And she's like, Dad, I have no idea, like I don't have any information. And then she gets off the phone and she has tried to reassure her dad a little bit. She gets off the phone and he says, well, you haven't even sent your mum a birthday card, you haven't seen her in a year, so obviously there's something's gone wrong in the relationship. And then we cut to 1975 when she's a child and she's just come home from school and she's trying to get together the ingredients to make something for her cooking class in school tomorrow, and she forgot to tell her mum that she had the class, and her mum's like cross because she hasn't got all the ingredients that she needs at home. And yeah, I love stuff that's set around small domestic scenes. So the scenes in the kitchen, some of my favourites. The scenes I can just picture, like her mum was in the garden and she was cross because she had to come in and she's trying to find these ingredients. Now she's only got a day to buy them. Like, it all feels relatable. And I really enjoyed it. I really don't want to stop reading this. I'm gonna have to because I'm already in the middle of too many books, but this is really good, and this is a definite yes, so we're keeping this one. I'm going to have a quick break now to get some lunch, so I will go and do that, and then I'll come back and do it a little bit more. I'm back. I've had some food. I'm back to carry on. So the next book I have on my list is another one that was gifted to me, and this is The Housekeepers by Alex Hay. This is one that Simon Savage gave to me when we met up a year ago, and I think it's like a murder mystery type book. Sounded like good fun. It's about the grandest house in Mayfair where they're about to have a summer ball and everything has to be perfect. And then the loyal housekeeper is suddenly dismissed, and downstairs the servants are plotting the heist of the century. As the clock strikes 12 on the night of the ball, the housekeeper will return to strip the house of its riches right under the nose of her former employee. And she recruits a bold alliance of women with nothing else left to lose and every reason for revenge. So it sounds good. The cover's nice and bright and fun. So let's dig in and have a look. Let's see. So where are we starting? So we start with an invitation to the ball. And then we have a telegram from the Housekeepers, 1905. So that's quite fun to start with those things. And then we are in Park Lane, London, 1905 for the first bit of the book. The first line is, Mrs. King laid out all the knives on the kitchen table. That is line number 1. Let's go. Okay, so I read the first chapter and I enjoyed it. It was good. It was setting up so the housekeeper was just getting the sack from the butler, and she was being told that she was seen going into the men's quarters of the house last night, and because of that she was being fired from her position and she had to leave, and she went up to her room and she threw some papers on the fire and then she left, and it was all quite atmospheric and quite good fun. I think it's just going to be like a fun kind of crime book, not like a gruesome crime book. And yeah, I think I'm going to keep this. It's quite long. It's 421 pages. So it might be one of those books where it starts getting farcical, and I do find that a bit annoying. I don't know yet. It hasn't so far. It's very, like I say, atmospheric and enjoyable. So yeah, I'm going to keep this one. The next one is one I just bought recently on World of Books, and it came in a library covered jacket, which is a bit annoying because it wasn't supposed to, but it's The Underdog by Markus Zusak. So this is the first in the Wolf Brothers trilogy. They're all really slim YA books. I decided I wanted to buy Markus Zusak's back catalogue because I have absolutely loved The Book Thief and Bridge of Clay, and I thought, why haven't I read all of the books he's written? So I bought this trilogy, and yeah, sadly this book is on there. So this is about Cameron Wolfe. It says, my name's Cameron Wolfe. I have a little bit of sense. I don't have much sense. My older brother Reuben gets me into plenty of trouble. I get Reuben to as much trouble as he gets me into. That's me. Cameron is hopeless, pitiful, and shake your head kind of pathetic. What he really wants is to meet a girl, but who could love an underdog like Cameron Wolfe? So this is the debut novel from Markus Zusak. See, I'm interested to see. I can't see myself not wanting to read this in full because it's Markus Zusak. But let's give it a go. So this is from 1999. And we're straight in. There's no year or anything. We're just straight in. Okay, this is good. He writes really good brotherly relationships. So in Bridge of Clay, which is his most recent fiction book, it's all about brothers, and these boys are talking to each other very much in the way that they talk to each other in Bridge of Clay, which is great. I can really see the relationship between them. They're 2 boys of 4 children who live in the house, and they're talking about how they always plan to rob different places in their town. Like they want to go and rob the dentist, and Cameron's saying that they never actually do it. They always plan these robberies as like a joke, and then they go in the dentist and decide they're actually going to rob the dentist, and then there's a dental nurse who's really pretty, so they decide that actually they just end up booking checkups, so they hope that they'll go back and see her the next day, and then there's a different nurse on, and so then they're just joking that they ended up having to pay for dentist checkups rather than robbing the dentist. So it's kind of like camaraderie and silliness between brothers, but it's like, yeah, I just really love Markus Zusak's writing. I think the thing with him is his writing, not really with the, well, yeah, with the book Thief too, he has a very unique writing style, and I think that for me, I love his writing style, but for other people, it may not be their thing, and that may be why this has got a lower rating. So this is going to stay. We're not doing so well so far, are we? We've got rid of 1 out of 4. So let's move on. So next I have The Seven Sisters by Margaret Drabble. So I talked about this recently as a potential for one of Ben's reading prompts, which was a book with 15 letters in the title, of which this is one of the contenders. And then when I was going to start reading it, I looked at the reviews and they were really bad. And I didn't unhaul it, partly because it's signed to me. But yeah, I'm going to try it now and see. So all I know about this is that it's about a lady called Candida. She is replaced by a younger woman in her marriage. She moves to London and she hasn't got much money, and she wants to just enjoy some small pleasures in life. And then she gets a windfall unexpectedly, and she gathers together 6 friends and decides to go for a journey around Tunis, Naples and Pompeii. And so that sounds amazing. So I'm intrigued why the reviews are bad. Everyone says like it's really slow and it isn't. Maybe it's over promising in the blurb. I don't know. But this is written in 2002. Even though it's a modern classic. So does modern classic start as early as 2002? Anyway. This is part 1, says her diary. So I'm just going to have a go with this and see whether I want to keep it. It's kind of, what do you do with a book that's signed to you if you don't like it? Do you still give it away? I don't know. Tell me what you think. Right, let's have a look. The first line is, I have just got back from my health club. Okay, I only made this like a couple of pages. I didn't want to read it. It's very rambly. It's quite a stream of consciousness, and she's just talking about how she wants to get a Walkman and how she is at a health club and she's listening to conversations of other people and making comments on their bodies, which is obviously like a little bit dated now. And it's just not my kind of cup of tea reading this, so I am gonna give this away. So even though it says to Sarah in the front, somebody I'm sure will enjoy it, I hope. I'll take the receipt out. I bought this in 2014, the year my daughter was born. So I've had this for 11 years and not read it. So yeah, that can go. The next one is surprising because this author is really popular. So I am... Oh, it's dusty. Gosh. I am a bit surprised to see this on here. And this is The Paying Guest by Sarah Waters. So the only one of her books I've read is The Night Watch, and I absolutely loved The Night Watch. It was a 5-star book for me. So I'm surprised to see this there. And this was shortlisted for the Women's Prize in 2015. So this book's 10 years old. I know I picked this up from a charity shop because I enjoyed The Night Watch so much. So this one is set in 1922. It's set in South London. It's a widow, Mrs. Ray, and her daughter Frances, and they're obliged to take in lodgers, and they take in a couple called Lillian and Leonard Barber, a modern couple of the Clark class, bringing with them gramophone music, colour and fun, and dangerous desires. The most ordinary of lives, it seems, can explode into passion and drama. A love story that is also a crime story. This is vintage Sarah Waters. So, yeah, I'm sure that this will be good. Don't know why it's got a bad rating. The first line is, the Barbers had said they would arrive by 3. So let's see what happens. So I've done 10 pages, and so far it's just the couple, the mother and the daughter, who live at their own house, and the lodgers, Mr. and Mrs. Barber, have just arrived, and they're sort of waiting tensely for them to get there. And then when they come, they're in a van, which they're very impressed by, because they thought they'd be with like a cart bringing their belongings, and the daughter is helping them. They seem quite glamorous, this couple, and the daughter's helping them bring in their things and carry them upstairs, and they seem more exciting than the people, their mother and the daughter, who live there already. So that's all that's happened really so far. We're just kind of getting to know the characters a little bit. It's a long book, this one, 600 pages, but like I said, because I enjoyed The Night Watch so much, I really don't want to unhaul this book. I do want to read it, and there's nothing that's put me off it so far, so that's going to stay. Next I have NW by Zadie Smith. So this is a book which well, this is an author who I have 3 Zadie Smith books and I've never read her before. I have this one, White Teeth, and Swing Time, even though, like I say, I've never read her books. And this was shortlisted for the Women's Prize in 2013. I can't believe it was that long ago. My friend passed this on to me. I think she got it as a free copy. The light's not very good. It looks fine on the camera, but the light's not great in here at the moment. So it says it's a tragicomic. It follows 4 Londoners after they've left their childhood council estate, grown up and moved on to different lives. It talks about the city, about the chance encounter they find, about the choices they've made, the people they once were and now, and can suddenly rapidly unravel. A portrait of modern urban life, funny, sad and urgent, as brimming with vitality as the city itself. I do like novels set out in familiar places, so this is obviously set in northwest London. And the writing is really, really tiny. I think this was quite a thick book, but because it's a free copy, they've made the writing so small, which I don't really appreciate. It looks like it's come from the Daily Mirror, this copy, and it was published first in 2013. The first line is, the fat son stalls by the phone mast. Okay, so this is interesting. It's quite chaotic. It's basically, there's a woman, it's very hot in the summer. There's a woman who is just at home, or she's in the garden, and there's this really insistent ringing on her doorbell, and she goes through and there's a woman shouting on the other side to let her in, to help her, please help her. And then when she comes in, it's this young woman called Shah who comes in, who's kind of grubby and loud and chaotic, and talking about how her mum's had a heart attack and she needs to get to the hospital. She doesn't know how to get there, and she's got 3 kids and she's left an abusive relationship, and she's like spilling out all of this information. And Leah, whose house it is, said she'll make her some tea and she'll call her a cab. Leah's saying how she's just found out that she's pregnant that morning, and she's like, why am I telling her this? And then they both figure out that they went to the same school, but they're in different years, and so they're thinking if they've got anyone who is in common with each other. But it really gives you this sense of Leah opening the door to this lady who's just burst into her life and is already kind of causing all of this drama. And there's a sense of you know, like if it was you or if it was me, I just want to be like, what have I done opening the door? I think yeah, and so I don't know what's going to happen from here, but it's like, it's quite fast paced, it's dragging me along with it, and I'm interested to know what's going to happen, so that one's a keep for me. So we've then got The 12 Tribes of Hattie by Ayana Mathis, and I got this because it was an Oprah Book Club book. I've had it for ages, and it is written in 2012. I think it's about a woman who has lots of children. So Hattie has fled the horror of the American South. She's starting life again in Philadelphia. Her American dream is shattered time and time again. She has 9 children and is raising them in a cramped little house that was only ever supposed to be temporary. And she keeps the children alive with will and not an ounce of affection that they crave. She knows they don't think of her as kind, but how could they understand all the love she had was used up in feeding and clothing them? It says it spans 6 decades. I saw Natalie, whose channel I can link below, read this recently, and she said it was interlinked short stories, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it was going to be a novel in entirety. But yeah, so we'll see. The first line is Philadelphia and Jubilee, August said when Hattie told him what she wanted to name their twins. And it starts in 1925. This is a sad book. So Hattie's only 17 and she's just had twins who she calls Philadelphia and Jubilee, and her husband's called August, and they've just started their home together, and the babies are about 7 months and they've both got pneumonia, and she's on her own with them. She hasn't slept for 3 days, and she's trying all sorts of home remedies. She's putting mustard on their chest, she's putting eucalyptus steam in the bathroom, she's propping them up in the bathroom with all the steam, and they're getting weaker and they're really struggling, and it's really hard to read because now they wouldn't be dying of pneumonia, and I wonder how on earth a 17-year-old mother copes with twins who are both really sick with no antibiotics to help them. Yeah, it was pretty sad. I just think if I can get the sticker off the front cover, I don't know if it will come off. And I'm intrigued by the story. I believe from what I heard from Natalie that, this sticker's not going to come off very well, that each chapter is like a different person in the family's perspective. So that's why I think she said it was like interlinked short stories, but it's moving, and it's really good writing, and I want to keep it. Okay, so this is the last 2 now. So the next book is Platform 7 by Louise Doughty. I bought this in a charity shop because I read Apple Tree Yard by her and I really, really liked it. And this is a crime book, which isn't normally my cup of tea. It's set in at 4 a.m. in a deserted railway station in Peterborough. And then there's a man sitting on a bench thinking he's on his own, but he's got company. Lisa Evans knows what he's about to do, and she tries and fails to stop him walking towards the platform edge and the approaching train. She is desperate to understand what connects her to this man. After all, Lisa was the first of them to die. Oh, so I don't know if Lisa's a ghost. So this was written in 2019, and the first line is, "It is 4 a.m. The station is empty, but I'm not alone." So let's have a little go with this and see. This one's a DNF real early. I don't like the writing style of this one. It's very short sentences. I just don't like the writing style to it. All I can say is it's, you see this is happening, the train's coming at this time, the person works till this time, you notice that, blah blah blah. I don't know, it's not doing it for me at all, and it's quite a long book, and it's gonna go. Sorry. That was just a really easy a really easy decision for me. Sometimes I guess you just know that something's not for you. So we're on to the last one now, and I only just bought this, so I don't want to unhaul it. But this is The Pleasing Hour by Lily King, with a very old school front cover. This is Lily King, I think it's her first book, published in 1999, and I did a haul like a few weeks or months ago where I was buying some books from World of Books, which were back catalogues of authors who I really loved their work, and Lily King is someone whose work I love, and so I'm really excited to read this. So this is, do I have to turn it this way around? It's about Rosie, who's an American au pair living in Paris, and she's fleeing a loss that has left her hollow and longing for a family, and she stays with the Tivets, her adoptive French hosts. So there's a mother, Nicole, who has 3 children, and the father is called Mark. She's developing a bond with him, and then the middle child suspects there's an attachment which is too close between her au pair and her father. Okay, so let's see if I love this Lily King as much as I have loved the others. The first line says, Clare is not a wealthy town. It is not one of those immaculate romantic villages described in books about the south of France. Okay, so I'm not really sure exactly what's going on at the moment. So we have Rosie. She's with an older lady doing some work in the garden. She's staying with her for 200 francs a week, and the older lady is asking questions about the family that she was staying with, about Nicole, and about about Mark, the dad, and saying how she knew them for a long time, and that's all that's kind of happened so far. So I'm intrigued to know more. I don't have strong feelings either way, but like I said, as I only just bought this one, I do want to read it. So in summary, I am keeping 7. Bit disappointing, I guess. I'm keeping 7 of the books, so these 7 here, and I'm unhauling these 3. Well, I guess I got rid of 3 of my TBR at least. I 30% can't be too bad. So if you've ever done this, tell me how it went for you. I guess I could have just picked 10 books at random that I wasn't sure about, but I thought it'd be quite nice to do it for the books that other people have said that they didn't enjoy so much. I'm not sure if this is a good way to unhaul books or not, but at least it made my TBR go down. And I may do it again. It is quite intensive doing it this way, because obviously I've read somewhere between 70 and 100 pages just doing this, which I could have read for the books that I'm actually reading. But yeah, it's helped me decide for a few of the books, and it's also helped me realise that I definitely do want to read some of these as well. So I may well do it again, but we'll see, because like I said, it is quite time intensive. Anyhow, if you have any good tips on how you unhaul books that you haven't read yet, then please share those with me in the description box, because I'd love to know. I hope that you have a really lovely week, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye!